Happy Friday. I'm going to see if I can get the lighting right here. The sun is shining. It's a beautiful day. And it feels a little like fall here. Maybe that's better so you aren't blinded by the sunlight. So, hello. I wanted to chat with you a little bit today about how can your body give you messages? How can you receive messages from your body and listen to them? This is something that I find really interesting with clients is that, we all know that we have certain sensations in our body or sometimes even pain. But what we don't think about is how it may be providing us with information. So, for those of you who've been listening this week, I've been talking about the 5 wisdom bodies, and we've been talking about the physical wisdom body today. And we've also talked about the emotional, we haven't talked as much about the emotional wisdom body, but that's what I want to talk about today is the emotional wisdom body. But it interacts a lot with the physical wisdom body. Hey, Ray, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. So how can your body give you messages, or how can you receive from them? There are a couple different ways to do this. In coaching, we talk about listening to what your body is. Martha Beck is who I did the training with, my life coach training. I'm a certified Martha Beck life coach. And one of the things we talk about is the body compass, listening to how our body can give us a yes or a no, or a more positive or a more negative reading for certain situations. So let's say you want to make a decision. Hello, I'm glad that you're here. Let's say that you want to make a decision about something, but you're not really clear. Gosh, should I, could be something little like, I wonder what I should have for lunch, or should I go on this trip that happened into my email inbox? The timing works out perfectly. Everything looks right, but maybe I'm not supposed to go on this trip. So we can tune into what our body is, the information that we're getting from our body. So paying attention to if you feel, and I'm going to kind of simplify it a little bit, but do you feel light or heavy around something? So following that body guidance instead of just the mind, because as we've talked about, the mind is not necessarily something that we trust. Well, most of us trust it. The culture that we are in tells us to trust the mind. And in my experience, the brain is a lying liar that lies. Because I love that phrase from Steph Lagana. And it is not something that really we can trust. And now I feel like I'm bathed in light. That was actually a little bit like, but maybe not so easy to see. So if our brain is a lying liar that lies, and it tells us stories all the time, I'm working with clients all the time, and they come in and they say, how can I know what is true? How can I know what to really trust? And my own experience and what I work with my clients is that we go to the body. We go to that feeling of, oh, this feels like, in shamanism, we talk about, the yes or the truth spot, or, in coaching, we talk about the body compass. So many different cultures talk about, or traditions talk about, listening to the wisdom. So let's go back to that example of you're trying to make a decision. Hey, Ashley, I'm glad you're here. I'm trying to make a decision about something. So, there's lots of different ways that we can go about that. A lot of people like to talk about pros and cons and listening to that. But in the emotional wisdom body, we can go within to feel, where is that emotion? What is the emotion? Where is it in my physical body? And what message does it have for me? So really getting curious about that particular message that might be conveyed. I have clients who come in with, I work a lot with individuals who have health challenges. So one particular client is dealing with osteoarthritis. And so we go often to the hands. What do the hands want? What information do they have? What wisdom do they have for you right now? And also, what do they need? Maybe right now they need to work less. Maybe it's that there's something emotionally that's showing up in our lives, but that's showing up in a physical way. Or as we were talking about before, with making a decision, maybe we feel that pit in our stomach like, oh, I really don't want to do that, but my mind is saying, oh, you really should. You know that your family always wants you to come at Christmas time, and your gut is saying, no, don't go. And we don't listen to that. Or we don't explore the possibility of, well, why is my gut saying no? How can I support my body? How can I support that? So it can be really, to me, you know, I was saying that with a client this morning as she was saying, this is happening. What does this mean? And I was like, oh, this is so exciting. And she was like, I'm so glad that you say that, because it doesn't really feel exciting to me. But it's when you start to get that information, it can be really exciting communicating with you. So then you can start to go deeper. Is it a message? Is it an emotional message? Is it a message from my mind about this doesn't feel safe, or from my heart that it doesn't feel safe? What is really true and what's happening on that particular level? So I like to look at that. You know, those wisdom bodies that I've been talking about, they're not really separate. They are, because our mind likes to separate things, and they're different. And it's really challenging to separate them because they're going to have such an influence on each other. The emotional body has an influence on the physical body. The physical body has an influence on the emotional body. And of course, the mental body, the mind is in there as well, and the spiritual and the energetic. So I hope this is helpful, information about how you can use your body. So, you know, the most important piece to kind of break it down into simple steps is to listen, and then to get really curious and ask those questions. There's a pit in my stomach. What's that about? Is there an emotion that goes with it? Is there a physical, you know, what's the physical sensation? What's the emotional sensation? What's the mind saying? Am I getting information from my guides? Is there an energetic feeling? Sometimes I'll get energies in my body that don't really necessarily make sense. Like, I feel an anxious energy, but there's no situation that leads to anxiety. And then I can look deeper and see that it's really an energetic sense, or maybe it's something that I ate, right? So all of those go together. So I hope this is helpful. I love talking about this. So I'm so glad I am able to come and chat with everyone about this. I hope it's helpful. Please drop in the comments if you were able to watch this, even if you're watching it later. And let me know if you have questions. If you have questions about how can your body give you a message, how can you connect with your body, how can you ask for what it needs, how can you support your body? All of those are really important pieces of information that help, from my own experience, guide me in day to day. And I'll tell you that I also have my page is going live for my new class. The Whole Body Upgrade is coming. Thank you, Ray. I'm glad you were here. The Whole Body Upgrade is going live today. I'll put the link in the comments for the new class where we talk about these 5 wisdom bodies and how to bring it into your life, and how to use that to upgrade your whole body and to break free from the health challenges that you're having. So I'd love to hear from you, and I will talk to you again soon. Bye.